Hey guys, I hope you're doing really well today. I have a bare face because I am going to talk about and show you how I achieve a flawless, natural looking base. When I say a flawless base, I am not talking about what looks amazing for camera, for photos, for videos. I want to focus on what actually looks great in real life, because a lot of you are not actually standing behind the camera a lot of the time, and neither am I. I would rather give you some tips that are realistic as to what looks great in person. And I've had a few people lately have been asking me for tips on particular foundations, how to apply it, because they've been having some trouble with the product's application or wearing throughout the day. So I wanted to share my top tips with you, and I'm just going to jump straight into it. So my first tip is to get the right foundation in the first place. There's so many to choose from. Even in terms of green beauty products, there's a lot on the market now, so it's really hard to figure out what's right for you. I would suggest reading reviews and getting samples where you can. You want to make sure that you get the right product for your skin type, and obviously color matching is very important as well. So read reviews and get samples where you can, because foundation is probably one of the most expensive investments that you will make with a makeup product, and you need to figure out what you're using the product for. Do you want to use it every day? Do you just want it for special occasions? How much time do you have in the morning to apply the product, and how would you prefer to apply the product? So if you don't have a beauty blender, but a foundation applies best with a beauty blender, if you only want to use a brush and you're not willing to invest in a beauty blender, then you're probably better off not getting that product. With regards to skin types, obviously we all have different skin types, so products will apply and wear differently on our skin. I have dry skin at the moment because it's winter, so you've got to take into consideration the time of year as well, and what will work best for your skin at the time you're purchasing the product. So they are my top tips before you even get your hands on the foundation, is to really do your research as to. My next tip is skincare. So choosing the right skincare to wear under your makeup products is very important, because it can have a huge impact on how the product applies and how it wears throughout the day. I have dry skin at the moment, and I'm using the Rosehip Plus Hydrating Day Cream. This is great because it's really, really hydrating, but it doesn't leave a greasy film or residue on my skin. I would not recommend applying oil directly to your skin before using a foundation or concealer. Oils tend to sit on top of the skin. Some absorb more than others, but you'll still be left with a bit of a shiny, slippery film, and the product won't grab onto your skin, or you won't be able to really push it into the skin to make it look like your skin, and it will tend to separate throughout the day as well. If you really, really want to use oil with your foundation, apply it to the foundation. So put some foundation on the back of your hand, add a really small drop of oil, mix it in, and you'll get that added boost of hydration and the goodness of the oil in the product, but you'll be able to push it into your skin and it will set with the foundation. So the next step is how you apply your foundation. This is so important. Not every foundation works well with beauty blenders, and not every foundation works well with brushes. So you really need to play around. If you get a sample, that's ideal, and you can play around and see, oh, I really only want to use a brush during the week, I don't have time to use a beauty blender. Then make sure the product you're getting works well with the tools that you're using. I personally find liquid products work best with beauty blenders for me, and cream products work best with a brush initially, because cream products are a little thicker. So I like to use the warmth of my fingers or a brush to apply cream foundation products, and then I can go in with my beauty blender if I really feel the need to afterwards. So I'm going to jump into my demonstration. That's what you call it. Today I am using the Gressa Skin Minimalist Corrective Serum Foundation. And another really good tip with natural beauty products is make sure you give them a really good shake before you use them, because they don't have a lot of the nasties in them. They do tend to separate a little more than mainstream products. So if it's a liquid, make sure you give it a really good shake. If you want to look natural in real life, starting with less is best and building on it. You don't want to go in really heavily handed and everything look cakey and it's hard to blend out. So I prefer to layer products. This Gressa goes a long way, this Gressa foundation. So I just add a couple of drops and then I can go back in if I really need to. If you have dry skin, beauty blenders are the best thing that you can use to apply your makeup, because it pushes into your skin. It doesn't like lift up any flaky areas, and because the sponge is damp, it's not going to dry your skin out. So that's why I love beauty blenders. The way to get a flawless base is really, regardless if you're using a beauty blender or a brush, is to push product into your skin. If you want the product to blend with your skin and look like skin, you need to really push it and work it into the skin. And don't forget to push it under the neck, because you don't want, no one likes that line, you know. You've got to blend it out so it looks like nothing. You shouldn't be able to see where a product starts and stops. Everything should just blend in. When it comes to my eye area with my foundation, I use a really, really light hand. Depending on your age and your skin type, and if you have a lot of wrinkles or whatever your situation is, I prefer not to build up too much product around my eye area, because I find it really creases and I have a very dry under eye area. So I don't do baking, I don't do heavy concealer. I just like to even out the skin tone using the foundation, and then I go in and spot conceal my dark circles. I like to stay away from too much product in this outer area, because that's where your smile lines are. Like when you smile, that's where a lot of people get wrinkles, and if the product is really built up in there, they become so much more obvious. Sometimes I think that less product looks so much better, particularly in person. So moving on to concealer, I would recommend at this stage doing a little bit of color correcting if you need to. I am using the Alima Pure Cream Concealer in Echo. So this is a fairly sort of yellow-based concealer. I like to use a flat brush and I go in with this first, just focusing on the inner part of my eye to brighten up those dark circles. And again, I'm just pushing this into where I really need it. And don't forget to blend your concealer sort of into this inner socket here. So I sort of just tap it until it's just blended out. And just to even everything out a little bit further, I'm going in with the RMS Beauty Uncover Up Concealer in 22. And I'm just doing a similar thing just to add some sort of skin color back under my eyes. I don't want them to be too bright because it's too obvious. And then if there's anything left over, I'm just going to push that onto any blemishes. Now at this point you can either go back in with the Beauty Blender, but I'm going to use the warmth of my fingers just to blend out the edges of that. Moving on to powder, I think regardless of if you are looking for a dewy finish or not, it's really important to apply some form of powder. I'm using the Well People Realist Invisible Setting Powder, and I'm using the tiniest amount. I'm tapping off all of the excess. I don't want to do any baking at all. And I'm just focusing this on the inner part of my eye. And then anything that's left, just lightly tap a very small amount to the outer edge. And it just takes away that sheen that's under my eye at the moment too. It helps blur that dark circle even further. If you have super oily skin, it's good to apply a translucent powder to your T-zone. because that will really help absorb oil throughout the day as well. You could leave it at that, but I'm going to go in with a little bit more powder. This is a tinted, well, it's not really a tinted setting powder, it's actually a mineral foundation, but I use the tiniest amount, and I do use this like a tinted setting powder for the rest of my face. This is the Alima Mineral Foundation in light to medium, and this really just helps with staying power, and it really does even everything out even further. It sort of blurs anything else that needs to be covered up. So I am talking the teeny tiniest bit of product. And again, there is absolutely no rubbing or sweeping, just tapping and pushing into the skin. So you can probably guess the theme for this whole video is pushing products into your skin. It honestly makes the biggest difference. Now, if you have dry skin or you prefer not to have a matte sort of finish, a hydrating mist spray, this is my favorite part. I am obsessed with these things. This is the final step for me. Every day I use this. I just find it just adds a little bit more of a glow back into the skin without it being oily. And I hold it a fair way back too, so there's no like, it doesn't affect your foundation. So that's it for my video today on how to achieve a naturally flawless base. I hope you found it helpful. Please don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this, and give me a thumbs up if you found today's video helpful. As always, please comment down below with any requests or suggestions on products that I should try, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.